Hi everybody, it's Tara Green here. Hope you're good today. It's Monday morning, it's December the 12th. I'm going to talk about the astrology for the next couple of days. And I don't know if you can hear him, that's my canary there, cheeping in. Yeah, hi Bo, he's saying hi and good morning. He's very interactive. All right, so you can see on the top here the moon in fiery Leo. So if there's been a lot of drama for the last little bit, it's because the moon is in Leo. And, you know, everybody's hearts are very affected with the moon in Leo. Leo rules the heart. It also rules the inner child. With Leo moon, we want to be the kings or the queens. We want to rule. And so, you know, there is that fiery, passionate, strong-willed, I want to be center of attention. It's all about me, bling, bling, Monday feel to it. But there is, you know, kind of complicated aspects going on here. So early in the morning here, this one already happened. The moon was in conjunct Mercury in Capricorn. And so in conjuncts, this little symbol here, or they're also called quincunxes, which I love that word, means that this little symbol means that the planets are at 150-degree angles to each other. And astrology is all about the angles. I know a lot of younger astrologers mainly focus on more traditional things, which is about houses. And, you know, the planets can move through the houses, of course, but their aspects are what's really the nitty-gritty to me of what's happening. That's the sacred geometry. So when planets are in conjunct or quincunx, they are in literally different elements. You can see here fire and earth, and they do not see each other. They are literally in each other's blind spots. So they can't, you know, how does fire speak to earth? How does fiery passion kind of, all fire signs are kind of spontaneous, you know, they want to burn the place down, you know, that's Leo, moon in Leo. And then Mercury in Capricorn is very businesslike and straightforward and responsible and very tangible oriented. It's only what's real. All fire signs are not real in a sense, in a way that they're spirit. They represent spirit. So not that spirit isn't real. It just means that you can't hold on to it. Like, you know, you can touch water, you can touch earth, you can feel the air. You can feel fire, you can feel the heat, but do you know what I mean? It's like you can't really put your hands in the fire. So Mercury might be some disagreements with elders or with, you know, frustration around trying to get practical things done, which I spent most of this evening trying to do myself. And then the sun in Sagittarius, we're saluting the sun in Sag, only going to be in Sag for the next 9 days. We're heading into solstice, winter solstice. At this point, and so the sun is sextiling Saturn and Sag. So the sextile, not about sexting, it is a nice 60-degree angle apart energy. So fire and air work well together. They enhance each other, although even though it's Saturn, and Saturn tends to put the limits on things, Saturn rules the sign of Aquarius along with the sign of Capricorn. So we've been under, you know, Saturn moving through both of its rulership signs for the last 5 years. And so this is a time to see the bigger picture and to consolidate some kind of serious big plans in the future. You know, Sun and Sag, very optimistic. I'm a double Sag. And so very optimistic. You want to look at the big picture. It's good to set travel plans, which I need to do myself. All right, Moon in Leo trines Chiron and Aries. So the Leo moon is really big and open and big-hearted, and Chiron and Aries is the defensive warrior of the wounded castle, I want to say here. But it's good to speak from your heart. I mean, people are talking about their wounds, and mental wellness has become a real buzzword, and it will continue to be that as Saturn enters Pisces, very much so, from March the 7th for the next 2.5 years after that. So open your heart. You know, the biggest strength is to be vulnerable. The moon in Leo sextiles Mars and Gemini. Now, of course, Mars is retrograde in Gemini. So, yeah, you know, tell me your stories about all the computer snafus and information, you know, mix-ups and things like that. And you know, damage control, which I did my share of last week. So Mars in Gemini, Mars is also out of bounds. So people could be speaking, or information could be seeming really out there, or where is that coming from, left field. And also that duplicity is definitely Mars and Gemini. You know, maybe those who, you know, couldn't choose sides are going back and kind of reviewing now, was that the best thing to do? Because, you know, Gemini is always about that duality, you know, the back and forth, the dialoguing. So there could be a lot of old dialogues going on in your head and out in person. And, you know, with Leo there, you want to speak from your heart. You know, passion. People always feel passion. You know, you don't want to slice it and dice it. And that's what Mars in Gemini tends to do. But it can be quite good. I've been finding it actually, for me personally, I feel much sharper, strangely enough, with Mars in Gemini. I have to think more carefully because I know Mars is in Gemini. You have to double, triple, quadruple check with Mars retrograde in Gemini. And then the moon squares Uranus in Taurus later in the night. So again, Uranus, the modern ruler of Aquarius, in Taurus. It's been there since 2018. Again, matters of the heart versus, thinking outside the box. All fixed signs are stubborn. So, people don't mention Aquarius as being a stubborn sign, but it certainly is itself. So Uranus and Taurus could be maybe some magnanimous, somebody who's a big philanthropist. I guess I'm thinking about Elon Musk at this point. Does something to open people's minds on a very tangible level, because Uranus is still open-minded. We're going to be introduced into Aquarius big time in March 2023 when Pluto enters Aquarius, and I'm writing about that, and I'm going to do a presentation about it too. All right, so that's pretty long already. Maybe we should just do this one day at a time. And my intuition is saying also, I'm going to pull some tarot cards too, but I'm going to do that in another video. So if you want to get in touch with me, I'm at tarottarot.com. Should I go on and do the 13th? Okay, let's go on and do the 13th since I'm here. I feel like I'm on a roll. Okay. Okay, so there is the next day. So the moon opposes Saturn. So anytime the moon is involved with Saturn, in any aspect, Saturn is always the tester, the limiter, the obstacles, the reality check. So maybe your big plans, your big dramatic plans to have a big party, Moon and Leo, they love to party. For some reason or other, people are scattered, or your Zoom isn't working, or information gets mixed up, or you want to break the rules and do something differently. And that might be a good thing, to break the rules, to think outside of the box, But remember, Saturn is always going to be the big tester. All right, and then the moon is out of bounds, which means, this is an important term and you need to learn that. So you can see there where it says the moon is, it says VC there. Can you see that? Where am I here? The moon is VC, right? So that means that the moon is out of bounds, and it's void of course. Sorry, not out of bounds, it's void of course. I'm thinking about Mars being out of bounds. Okay, let's stop there then. I'm going to start